I tried it, and they were like, Anej, go back to your country and first work for at least 1 year. I didn't get that PhD thing. I felt sad, but I was like, come on, you paid for my master's, so thank you for giving me that chance.
Over time, I've noticed that if you are knowledgeable in something, it looks so easy. While I was in school, high school, mathematics, chemistry, physics, they were very simple for me. But I could see my colleagues who could hardly get 10%. That was not their calling. But in history, they would beat me hands down. And that is the importance of knowledge. That when you are knowledgeable in an area, you are the king there, and you do things with a lot of ease. But when you are trying in a field that is not your area, you are not designed for that field, you will struggle.
I worked with Coca-Cola, Beverages Africa, that Century Bottling Company, for 4 years. Then after I went to the UK to study a master's in public health and health promotion at Brunel University, London, as a commonwealth scholar. Now, this was a career change from food science to public health.
And then when you have the big picture, then you can try not to convince the scholarship team that, you know, I am the right person, and what I'm choosing can go on to impact the environment where I'm coming from.
Exactly. Guys, I received so many questions about these scholarships, but I can't answer everything in the same video. This time, I landed on this video that was recorded in 2021 December. Well, it was a panel of all these commonwealth scholars, now the alumni and alumnae, who are talking about their experiences and answering various questions from an audience of about 200 people. Yeah, we had so many people, and they asked about taking their family, IELTS, choosing a course, because right now, you know, there are shared scholarships that have opened, and people are trying to see if they can switch their fields. Remember that for these scholarships, there is a university tied to a specific course. So there are some people who are thinking, should we switch careers or something like that? They answered that. Yeah, listen to it and just, get an idea of what you can do. They answered so many questions: benefits, how to get refunds, because for those people who are coming from developing countries, you must do a TB test. How can you get your refund? How are you going to get your stipend for shared and masters? What is the difference? They've talked about so much. What can you do after your commonwealth scholarship? They talked about so many things. Just take a listen. You will thank me later.
My name is Anait Nakas. I'm born in Masaka, southern Uganda, and I finished my high school from Kaboko Secondary School. I have all B's here. There are 2 of them, and I'm so happy that I've met them again. From there, I did my bachelor's in Japan, and then from there, I went to the UK at Oxford University, where I just finished my master's degree in irrigation biology. Currently, I am working with the Uganda Cancer Institute, but later on, I might be working as the lecturer at Uganda Christian University. I'm just waiting for that. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we go to the next Gladys, please?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this important occasion. My name is Gladys Ato. I am a doctor by profession, an ophthalmologist. I did my primary school from Gulu, secondary Gulu, 11 Center High, even if you are here. And then I went to Kampala International University for my medicine, and after which I did another master's in ophthalmology from Barra University of Science and Technology. And then immediately I went to work in Morotoro Referral Hospital as the first and only ophthalmologist in the South region. And in the midst of my work, that's when I went to do Masters of Science in Public Health for Eye Care from London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. And then today I'm here.
Thank you very much, Gladys. You can see our very own are getting these questions. Can we have the next, please?
Morning, everyone. Thanks for coming for this workshop. I'm Ibrahim Kasuli, born in Masaka. I had my secondary from Masaka Secondary School, Aga Khan. Then I went to Chambogo University, where I studied bachelor in food processing technology. I worked with Coca-Cola, Beverages Africa, that's Century Bottling Company, for 4 years. Then after I went to the UK to study a master's in public health and health promotion at Brunel University, London, as a commonwealth scholar. Now, this was a career change from food science to public health. After that, as I was studying my course, I had an opportunity to volunteer with the Africa Health Organization as a research and policy officer through Brunel Volunteers. I'm now currently working with Nile International Hospital in Ginger as an operations manager. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Now we have Patrick, and Patrick is going to tell us many unique things. Thank you. Please take the floor.
Not really. Thank you so much. Like my colleagues have mentioned, I believe that I have classmates in here, village mates, among others. My name is Okeng Patrick Michael. Some people who do not like me, they call me OPM, not Office of the Prime Minister, but that is just an abbreviation of my name. I come from one of the newly created districts in Uganda. It's called Aleptom. It was carved out of Lira district, which is now a city anyway. I did my primary education from Lira. Secondary, O-level, I did it from Apache in Adubu SS. I went for a time, I was in Dr. Bode College. I finally summarized my A-level from Hilton High School, Mukono. From there, I moved on to Chambogo University, where I pursued a Bachelor's of Science in Education, Chemistry and Mathematics. And for quite some time, from 2009 until about 2018, I was teaching chemistry and mathematics. But within that period, I did a master's in higher education management and administration from Uganda Management Institute, where I was, enhanced with adequate skills really to teach research methods and also manage in a higher education setting. I took some time, about 2 years, and I was teaching at Kaiwa International University, where I also served as the active Dean Faculty of Education. And so, one of the things I love so much is football. I know there are Manchester United fans in here. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought about when I moved to the UK, reaching Old Trafford. But when I read, it looked like Napoli, okay? And of course, we are sometimes, when you see the camera footages, you feel like, yeah, if I get there, I can die in peace. I was there welcoming Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he took on his job. Unfortunately, today he's no more. He's no longer the coach of United. So where did I go while in the UK? I went and did a Master's of Philosophy in Education, Globalization and International Development from the University of Cambridge. While there, I had other opportunities. Like Simon was mentioning, it's an opportunity to network. It's an opportunity to strengthen your skill sets. It's an opportunity to learn new things, like moving underground, moving overground, and also on the ground. Coming from a laptop, I never had such opportunities. But while in the UK, of course, I enjoyed their planes, which were completely paid for. But while there, one thing that shocked me was that people move underground with underground trains. It was baffling. As if that was not enough, I also stayed in an environment where there were also overground trains. And of course, when you hear our politicians talking about it, you think it is a dream. Those things are already happening elsewhere. And these were developments of 1960s. And we are now in 2021. So it is possible that it will come to Uganda. And that is one of the reasons why we are here, that we raise an army of intellectuals to bring those developments back home. We are blessed by getting these opportunities, and we believe that we should also be a blessing to you people, so that together we can carry this banner forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So from just the introduction, we are seeing that all of those who are in the panel are from humble backgrounds. I will not overstate my humble background, because me, I started deep in Tororo, the school that never exists anymore, called Tororo High School. It is no longer there, but I got the chance. So thank you very much, panelists, and thank you very much, members who are here present, both physical and online. And the point is that it is possible. It is possible for each of us to be able to get these scholarships if we put our heads to it, if we allow to be mentored, and if we allow to be coached. We are a bit lucky that by the time for us who are going, we didn't have mentors, we didn't have people who would volunteer to tell us the tricks, the kapuyegi, to get these opportunities. We would go and pick it and learn the hard way. But now we are all here, we are all yours. So use us. Having said that, we are now moving into the real gist. And like I say, when any of the presenters is presenting, you have a burning question, raise your hand, interject, and the issue is addressed. So it is more of a participatory discussion. So I want to ask Gladys now to take on the first theme, which is around who are the intended beneficiaries and what you need to be, what you need to have to be able to benefit and partake of these scholarships and fellowships. Gladys, the floor is yours. At your convenience, you could stand there, you could go to the podium. The floor is really yours. Thank you.
So thank you once again. Being the first speaker, I hope that I don't know what I'm going to say. I'll try as much as possible to keep you awake. And as I introduce you to who the beneficiary is and what it entails. So as we know, Commonwealth scholarships, it's really one of the most prestigious scholarships that anyone would want to take. And if you read about it, you have already, you know that the benefits are enormous, and you're going to hear from most of us who are yet to speak. People have various experiences. People have learned a lot from going abroad and then coming back to impact on their communities. And like Colin said, why should you go through the experience when we have already gone through the experience and we can tell you so that you can sail smoothly and go through the application processes and everything that entails the scholarship without so much hardship. So the beneficiaries, according to Commonwealth, is that you're supposed to be from the least developed country, which we already are. So that criteria is not such a big deal now. The part that I'm going to focus on is the part that touches you and me. So when it comes to being a beneficiary, it is you and your country or the community that you are going to impact. So let's look at Uganda. We have Uganda and we know the various scopes and areas of development. Being a low developed country, we know that it's going to be upon us to choose subjects and courses that will later on impact our communities and create the impact that our president talks about. When you hear his speeches, he emphasizes the STEM approach to learning. And in the STEM approach, we have science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I would appreciate if these are the key things that guide you as you go, in your application processes. And it's not a do or die. We also have other themes. So when you hear him saying, we are focusing on science and technology, these are basically the things, looking at the engineering sections, mathematics, science and technology in there. But that is not what Commonwealth entirely requires of you. For Commonwealth, you will see the 6 major themes that you will come across so often. And now in those themes, that is where most of your application processes will actually fall. So the 6 major themes are science and technology for development. Those are the things that you will choose. Strengthening health systems and capacity, promoting global prosperity, strengthening peace, security and governance, strengthening resilience and response to crisis, access, inclusion, and opportunity. So those are the 6 major themes that you will see as you will actually have to choose, and then based on to convince the people you're applying to that when you come back, you're going to use one of these areas to impact and create change in your area. So you have to ask yourself, which of these themes that I have read out, which of these themes have I played a critical role in? Because you might be a student, or you might be working in other areas of your life, or in government, private sector, but you definitely have your themes already in line with what I've read. So you should ask yourself those questions. What is my career like going forward from now? Is it going to fall in any of those? So as you consider applying, apply in the area that will have a sufficient impact in the future. And then also, you have to consider the course that you're eligible for. So that requires, a lot of having a vision about what you want to do. So if you're in the health sector, like me, for instance, I would give my example. I chose the theme strengthening health systems and capacity. Now, at that time when I was making that choice, I was already working as an ophthalmologist in Karamoja sub-region. And like I said, I was the only ophthalmologist there, and I was facing a lot of challenges. And one of those challenges that I was facing was the fact that I was working in a community that was poor, and then health-seeking behavior was nearly almost impossible. The people who were coming for eye care services were very few. It was seeming like I was staying in a guest house, which is not a hospital setting. That was how I was working. So that kept ringing in my mind, what can I do to improve eye care services in the region? So that's what made me pick the health, strengthening health systems. And then from that, I had to start figuring out how can I make this better. So I came up with a draft of what study I think I would do to improve patients coming in. So went back and looked at my data at the hospital, and I was thinking, so how many patients have been referred to me? Because I work in a regional referral hospital, and literally all the 8 districts of Karamoja have to refer. their patients to me for eye care. And I looked back for the past 2 years and I was like, we were having about 30 referrals, which is very low for a regional referral hospital. So that triggered now my research point, and I ended up doing something to do with looking at factors that could facilitate or factors that are hindering referrals of patients at the regional referral hospital. So this is just an example of how you can try to figure out what is going on. It depends on which area, of life you're in. You could be at the university, but then you have a goal. And in that goal, you're trying to figure out things. A vision, a goal, what can I do? You should not be limited by the resources that you think. The first thing to do is first have the big picture of what you want. And then when you have the big picture, then you can try now to convince the scholarship team that, I am the right person and what I'm choosing can go on to impact the environment where I'm coming from. So when I was explaining the problem in Karamoja that needed me to tackle, it was all about the eye care system. The burden of blindness, Uganda were having lots of blindness, and yet in Karamoja itself, the health security was so poor. There was no other ophthalmologist apart from me. And so that helped a lot in bringing out the clear aspect of what I would do when I would be coming back. So then the other thing about checking courses that you want to do. So whatever university that you're going to apply to, streamline yourself and check the course that you want to do, because at the end of it all, you'll hear from them that those courses that you're choosing could either be competitive or not so competitive, and there are courses that require a higher English test score and others that require moderate. And so when you're choosing, you consider all that, and then you factor in the fact that you need it to align with the goals of what you require to do. And then as you're also planning on choosing your courses and what you intend to do, put in mind the sustainable development goals of the world in general. The 17 sustainable development goals also helps you. As you're making your writings, as you write your applications, you look, you can relate the kind of impact you want to create to the development, sustainable development goals. The few that I usually focus on are the no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water, sanitation. And you can see that actually the themes that Commonwealth chose also seem to align with the SDGs for the country. So in all this, you'll notice that there's going to be a pool of applications, and what will stand out and make you eligible is you being exceptional. We are all, for instance, in healthcare, we are all maybe in engineering and that kind of thing. So what is going to make you stand out so that you are looked at as the potential candidate? So for you to be exceptional, it means first that you're showing interest, that you're going to come back and do something for your home county and create an impact. And so that means that if you have a different goal, that you don't intend to come back, then this Commonwealth scholarship may not be for you. So you may need to consider something else. So why I say you should be exceptional, it also goes in as far as academic performance is concerned. As you'll read through, you'll see that you need to attain some GPA points, at least a second class upper, because this is a very competitive scholarship. And so the academic merit of a candidate is quite important, but they should not discourage you, sorry, because as you make your applications, for me, what I see is so important is you showing the potential impact. So you show the point where there is a lack, and then try to convince the team that this is what I plan to do to solve the problem. And that all comes in the beauty of your writing, and that is so key. So it does not mean that this is exactly what you're going to do step by step by step. So it should not, I've seen some people who fear picking up research topics because they think, will I really be able to do this? But if you think it's so beautiful and you can later modify it, pick up something that will be convincing, that will show people that you're exceptional, and that the impact of what you're going to be doing is going to be very clear. So basically, in summary, that's what I would say. Align your goals to your country's goals and sustainable development goals, and we'll be good to go.
Thank you very much, Gladys. So, the take-home message, align. Align your mindset, align your goals, align whatever you want. Thank you very much, Gladys. I would now request Annette to take us. Do you have any question? Or do we take the questions at the end? I think that is better. After the presentations, then we have the questions. Annette, you want to take it on? So Annette is taking us through the general eligibility for both the master's program and the PhD program. And the reason why she's doing is that I think in a few months from now she's starting her PhD. So she is going to be the right one to take this on. Annette, please, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, MC. So I think Mr. Patrick is going to be introducing to you these scholarships. Today we are talking about mainly masters and PhD. So here we have to consider masters, PhD, and then share the scholarships. So they are in two categories, but he's going to introduce more about them later on. So the main ones, that's how I call them. I don't know if they're called main ones or not main ones, but the main ones, they are not shared. And here you apply for the master's or a PhD, but for the shared ones, they have, the eligibility is almost the same, but they have something that is slightly different from the main ones. So if we start with the main ones, you need to be done, with your undergraduate studies by the start of the academic year, because you apply to these scholarships, for example, this year, but you join the next year in September or October, depending on the starting of your university. So you need to be done with that. When I was applying, I was in my third year undergrad, because my course was 4 years. I was in my third year. But the good thing about Japan or a developed country is that you have access to your transcripts. So you can download them, print them out, scan them, and just submit them. I don't know if it's possible here, but if there's that possibility, I don't know. Where one person told me that they can't have their grades until they are done with the course, which is not good, because it limits you, from applying various opportunities. So if there is any way you can have screenshots can work here. So if you know the grades for each semester, just take the screenshots and compile them into one PDF, then you can submit that. I think that also works, because I did that as well when I was applying for my PhD. That indicates that you don't have to wait to work hard in the last year, because they ask you just give us the most updated grades. That means that you have to start working hard right from the first year. If you're waiting to work hard to make things work out in the last year, then it might be really hard to select you if your GPA is so low. I'm not saying that if you don't have a first class, you don't get it, you can get a scholarship if you have other talents, you know. We are talented in various ways. Not everybody is going to get a high GPA, you know. You can have a low GPA, but you were the most creative person outside books, you understand that? So you can be strong somewhere else, and when you're writing, emphasize that. Emphasize where you are, you know, you are stronger or you are strongest. And then you need various documents in the required format. And what I would say is that for any graduate or for any university student, before you graduate, you must have a passport. A passport is extremely important. There are so many of my friends who have missed opportunities just because they don't have passports. Well, the system might be hard to get a passport because it maybe takes ages for you to get a passport, but try as much as you can to get a passport. There's no any outside opportunity you're going to apply to without a passport. If there is any opportunity you know of that doesn't require a passport, well, I'll know that from you, but what I know, you need a passport. You have to upload it when you're applying for these scholarships at the end. And then, of course, you're already permanent residents, so I don't have to say anything about that. And then you shouldn't be a rich person. Because if you're rich, then why looking for financial aid? There are so many, talented people who are financially unstable and they need help. Let them go. You have the resources already. Don't even give the resources for poor people. So if you are not rich, you are eligible for these scholarships. These are the criteria mainly for shared scholarships. The second one I talked about. You cannot apply if you have studied or worked in a developed country for a year or more. I finished my bachelor's degree in Japan. That means that I cannot qualify for the shared scholarships, but I qualify for the main scholarships. You understand that? So just have to be careful there. You can read this eligibility by yourself, and I'm just going to show you. There are so many websites that are talking about these scholarships, so you might be like, where should I go? Which website should I follow? It's csc.gov.uk. That is the website where you should go. And once you click in there, there are a lot of options you can choose. Eligibility, choosing a university, all the things are listed there. They're in a blue color, that's what I remember. They're in a blue color. So once you go to that website, you'll have all the information and can just check anything you want from there. That's all for masters. For the PhD, you must have a master's degree. But if you have been a commonwealth scholar for doing your master's in the UK, you are required to first go back to your country for at least a year for you to apply for a PhD. I tried it and they were like, Annette, go back to your country and first work for at least 1 year. I didn't get that PhD thing. I felt sad, but I was like, come on, you paid for my master's, so thank you for giving me that chance. You understand that? So if you are going to be on that master's scholarship, you have to wait, you have to skip a year to be eligible for the PhD. That's what I wanted to say. And yes, someone might ask about getting admission from the university. When I was applying for my master's, I didn't have admission. Actually, I remember telling them that I heard about these scholarships a week ago. Now I have applied to Oxford, Manchester, and another third university, I don't remember. Yeah, that's what I say. So you don't have to have like admission with you. That's what I'm aware of. But if things changed, then I'll learn from other panelists. Yeah, thank you. But it's really important for you to take the initiative to get the admission by yourself because it's your responsibility.
Thank you very much, Annette. Take the initiative to get the admission. Okay, so that for me is the catching message, and the year you need to have some time, you need to come back home. Thank you very much, Annette. Now I would request Ibrahim to take on what are the benefits and what is the value of having this prestigious opportunity to study and to grow your career. Ibrahim, take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Once again, welcome everyone who is attending this workshop. Thank you for fixing time. The values for the scholarship. First of all, the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission will organize for you air fares from your country of origin, which is Uganda, to where you are going to study from. This is by air, like from Uganda to London, and then by train to your respective university. This will be organized either by the university, if you are a Commonwealth shared scholar, but then funded by this Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. If you're a general scholar, then the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission will organize this for you through Diversity. Diversity is it's a company which organizes flights for common scholars. It will be organized for you. The other value is approved tuition at the university. You will not pay tuition. The tuition will be funded by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, and depending on the value depending on the tuition at this university, it will all be funded. The examination fees will be funded, and any other thing regarding academics. You will also receive a stipend. This is a living allowance to enable you sustain yourself in the UK, that is with accommodation, with the meals, with academic logistics. For those in the London metropolitan area, you will receive £1,390. That is by 2022. Probably by next year it will have increased. And for those outside London, you will receive £1,133 monthly. If you are a Commonwealth shared scholar, the university will provide you with this amount every month. And if you are a Commonwealth General Master's scholar or a PhD scholar, you receive this amount quarterly. Before you leave, they will send you a MasterCard. The MasterCard will be having the amount to sustain you for the first 3 months. Then when you're in the UK, every 3 months, that's a quarter, you'll be receiving this amount. Additionally, you receive a warm clothing allowance. I received £400. This is to enable you get enough warm clothing to be ready for winter. You will also receive a thesis grant. This is to support you through your dissertation. That is roughly £200. Probably it has increased. Other colleagues will give us the latest updates on that. You will also receive reimbursement for your TB test. Before you go to the UK, you need to conduct a TB test to ensure that you don't have TB. This is within the UK public health regulations. But this amount will be reimbursed to you once you present the receipts to your program officer. If you have a child and you're a single parent, or you're widowed or divorced, you will receive a child allowance. For the first child, you receive £485. For the second child, you will receive £120. This is if you are staying with your children at the same residence or in the UK. Additionally, you will receive a disability allowance. Now, as you're filling your Commonwealth scholarship application, you need to specify the disabilities you have, and these will be kept with high privacy. And with this, the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission will support you with the necessary additional funds to enable you study despite this disability. Further, you will receive support from the universities where you are studying from. The universities arrange a lot of programs, some of them to help you in academia, others to help you to get experience while studying. For example, when I was at Brunel University, London, we had opportunities to get involved in the global leadership training in Malaysia, and this was funded fully by the university. You will also have chances to participate in programs like the READY program, where you network with students in various universities and you develop programs to help refugees in Africa, and by this you're gaining experience. You will also have a chance, if you're in the UK and you are willing to apply, you can apply to Host UK, where you get an opportunity to stay with a British family during the Christmas season, the New Year period, so that you can learn the British culture and appreciate the ways of life in the UK with the people who have been there for some good time. They are really welcoming and hospitable. Still, if you're studying in London, you'll have an opportunity to apply and participate in the London Venture Pro. And this will build and strengthen your entrepreneurship skills, where you will have an opportunity to get mentorship from business owners in London, and this will help you if you have the entrepreneurship aspect. You will also have opportunities at your respective universities to study a PhD. You can easily enroll into a PhD while doing your master's if you have the right supervisor and you are interested. Now, still, while studying at the UK university, you will have opportunities to volunteer, like at Brunel University London. Through Brunel volunteers, you can easily be connected to big organizations. Like personally, I was connected to the Africa Health Organization, and I started getting experience. So when you're there, it's not only studying, you can still volunteer. These universities are organized with departments specifically to tailor your education to the experience in the field you need. Still, you'll have an opportunity to attend the Commonwealth Scholarship workshops in the UK, and these will strengthen your skills in research in various aspects. You'll always be receiving emails of different workshops, and if you register, depending where you are in the UK, the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission will give you the transport to come, as in to facilitate you to attend these workshops. And this will help you in your studies and even after the studies. Now, when you come back to Uganda after your studies, because this is one of the conditions, after studying, you come back to your country to develop it. Now, you will have a chance to join the alumni association, like this association, and you'll be able to network with different scholars who studied before you and those who will study after you. You will also have access to the Knowledge Hub. This is a platform which joins us together. You receive monthly email about what is happening in the various Commonwealth countries, what the scholars they are doing, and this will give you an opportunity to interact with them and definitely have an opportunity to share your research experiences and also to fill your knowledge gaps. Now, after attaining this certificate from the UK, your master's certificate or your PhD certificate, you will have many opportunities in Uganda. Like different employers will prefer employing a person with the UK qualification. And still, you as a person, you'll have value in yourself, as in the fact that you're having a UK document will be able to get various opportunities in academia, in the private sector, in the public sector, and all this. This is what I have to share with the board of values. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. We are a big family who are networked together and benefit from each other. And just like he said, I remember when I attached myself to the University of Liverpool, I was assigned to the SANU research unit, and it saw me come and work in Uganda for a year on a research project in Mbale Regional Referral Office. So, there is no better way to benefit from these networks, and I have benefited personally from a number of them. So with those remarks, now I want to ask Patrick to take the floor and break down the types of Commonwealth scholarships and also a bit of the nominating agencies, and then we are pleased and honored to have one member from FAWE, that is the nominating agency, who will then follow and give us some remarks. Thank you very much. Patrick, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Colin, for giving me that opportunity. Let me also say a big thank you to the members hearing for the large attendance that we have, both physically and online. Please, I beg that I start from where Ibra actually stopped, about the benefits of these scholarships. It's true, they are beneficial, and the benefits are so diverse. On my part, I benefited from the Commonwealth Share Scholarship. That means during my time, I had funding from both the university and also from Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. But besides just the funding, the opportunities that were there, that I was presented with during the course of the program were several. One of them was that I was privileged to be appointed as the Knowledge Hub Coordinator for Inclusive Education. And that, in a way, expanded my networks, but more so, it strengthened my skill sets because there were a number of programs which were organized by the Commission to just train us on communication, on entrepreneurship, on employability, and several of these workshops and conferences that we attended greatly enhanced our capabilities. And so it's not just the course that you have applied for that you get to benefit from, but there are other benefits that you may not actually see by the time you're applying for these scholarships, but by the time you get there, normally they will send you emails. So it's up to you to actually sign up for them and attend. Secondly, there was an opportunity for a training that was held at Cumberland Lodge. Cumberland Lodge is in Windsor. That is where the Queen resides. But this was a residential program that took about 3 months. But it was during the recess period, during holidays. It was for young emerging international leaders. And so it was on freedom of religion or belief. And so we got that chance. I had the opportunity to be there with a number of other Ugandans who actually signed up for this program. And so the training gives you a lot more opportunity to deepen your understanding on some of the global trends. Even as we talk about the SDGs, you notice that there are particular trends that the policeman of this world is, trying to point us to, or the guys who are at the top. There is a direction where they are pointing the world to. And so through some of these opportunities, you get to understand that indeed we are in a global village and there is a headmaster to that village. And so the direction he points, at least you find yourself fairly abreast with the direction that the world is taking. So we may not be able to break down all the benefits because we are quite sure that the world is not static. It is changing, and it's changing at a breakneck speed. That means by the time you get these opportunities, so many of these aspects that we are talking about possibly will have changed. And so you will get more benefits than we actually got. And that is going to be our pride. And that's one of the reasons that brings us here. So the MC invited me to just talk about the different scholarships which are there and how can you get them, which are the nominating agencies, which path do you need to take to get hold of these scholarships and immerse yourself in all these opportunities that we have aptly articulated. First and foremost, before I even talk about these scholarships, we need to understand who gets the opportunity to benefit from these scholarships, and how do you prepare even to get them. I know my colleague has already mentioned the eligibility criteria, those who can do this. But I believe I need to speak generally and tell you that even high school students can attend this session, because the preparation to get these scholarships starts way back from down there. You need to be prepared with the right grades. And so for you to get good grades at possibly A level, the preparation needs to start from down there. Otherwise, you'll get to A level, do your A level in an area which you're so passionate about. But if you don't get the right grades, chances are that you may be driven by the wind to a direction that you do not like, but just because the opportunities are there, you'll run that side. And at the end of it all, you will live a life of regrets, unfulfilled, and disillusion. And this happens because, let me tell you, having these grades is one thing, but having the grades in the area that you're passionate about is, I believe, is a mouthful. It's the most important thing. So, and reflect and know the thing that really moves you. What is that area that you are so passionate about? I would desire that you don't just go for a scholarship because the offer is there, but go for a scholarship that you believe you will enjoy, practicing in that field. Otherwise, you don't want to get the PhD or the master's and shelve it. That would not be beneficial to you as an individual, but also to your nation. Because, like the colleagues mentioned, we have also a development agenda. She articulated about the SDGs, but you notice that as Uganda, we also have our national development plan. And so issues of impact are supposed to actually be derived from those things. So these are the scholarships. Allow me just start from the master's scholarships. One, we have what we call commonwealth distance learning scholarships. Now, this one is just for masters. I know in here there are people who believe that their mothers are the best when it comes to cooking. And so they don't desire stepping a foot away from Uganda. Because Uganda is the food basket of Africa. And I believe we are the most blessed country in the world when it comes to food. At least I have traveled a bit, so I can talk about that with some fair authority. So these are people who do not want to move away from the country. They want to benefit from the scholarships, but benefit from their homes. In other words, study online. Get the scholarship, but study from home. Possibly your job does not allow you to move, or your family commitment does not allow you to, move away from the country because you're scared that the moment you step out of this nation, you may come and be welcomed by dust at home. So you want to keep, a tight grip to your family. So one that you can look out for is actually the distance learning scholarship, the Commonwealth Distance Learning Scholarship, which is a master's program. That's important for you if you are one of those people who really love your country, so patriotic. I encourage you to look at that one. Then we have the master scholarships. Now this one is very general. Normally it runs, the UK master's programs run mainly for 1 year. That is between 9 months to 12 months. So this is the one that is mainly talked about, the master's scholarships. Recently, the Ministry of Education advertised and several people really applied for it. I saw for particular, divisions based on the goals of our government. You would find over 50 scholars shortlisted for that particular scholarship, like engineering, masters in engineering, over 50 plus, but they need only 3. That's how competitive it is. Getting those benefits require a lot more commitment and focus. So those scholarships are wide-ranging. They are in different fields: education, engineering, health, among others. Then we have the shared scholarships. The Commonwealth shared scholarships, the one that I benefited from, it receives funding from, part funding is from Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, then the other one is from the university. But it runs the same way as the master's program. I'll share briefly about Commonwealth shared scholarship, because I know there are people in here who may decide not to apply through the Ministry of Education for one or the other reason, okay? You believe that you have a better path getting from the back door than going directly. Those are reasons I'm not going to delve into them, but the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship provides you that avenue, not to go through the front door, but the back door. How does it happen? Now, for the shared scholarships, normally the nominating agencies are the universities in the UK. Normally, the universities apply to Commonwealth Scholarship Commission with their programs. And so they also compete for the funding from the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. So once they get that funding, they now go on and advertise those master's programs that they receive part funding for from the Commonwealth. So when you apply for those specific master's programs, the universities can now nominate you to Commonwealth to be a beneficiary of that scholarship. That's how it happens. Unlike the general master's programs where you have specific nominating agencies. They can be the national nominating agency, that is the Ministry of Education and Sports, or it can be the other universities that have been that have got the MOU with the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, or even the NGOs or the charity organizations. I will talk about that when I get to the nominating agencies. Then we have the split side scholarships. Now this one is for PhD. Now split side scholars are those ones who are enrolled and they are doing their scholarships, doing their programs possibly in Makerere or in Chambogo or in MAST, Barara University of Science and Technology, and they apply for Commonwealth scholarship. So what happens is that the funding only caters for the 12 months that they will be placed in one of the UK universities. So they get the opportunity to share insights with the UK university for those 12 months. While you're studying, you do possibly your 2 years here in Makerere, then the 1 year you go to the UK university. So the commission funds those 12 months. Then we have the PhD scholarship, the direct or the general PhD scholarship, which is also available. And like Annette said, for you to apply for the PhD, you must have a master's program. But there is also another rule, that there are people who apply for PhD even when they just have their bachelor's or the undergraduate degrees. And so what happens is that you do the master's and continue to the PhD. Those opportunities are there, but those scholars are very rare. It must be in a very, unique area. Then we have medical. Of course, today it's more about scholarships, but I know, looking at your faces, some of you are professionals, you are already in the field working, and you're like, so there is no provision for us who are already working, and we just want to grow our careers. So there are fellowships for such. There is what we call the Commonwealth Medical Fellowships. Now, these ones, when you get it, you go to the UK, because you are a mid-career professional in the medical field. You get to the UK and you are placed in one of those organizations for about 6 months to share experience, gain skills that possibly you are lacking, and from that collaboration you also build networks to help you expand on what you're up to. So the medical fellowships, they are mainly for medics, all those in the health field. Then we have the general one, which is what we call the professional fellowships. Now, professional fellowships are also for those professionals who are already in the field. And so you are blessed, you get a placement in an organization. A case in point, if you were a teacher and you apply for such a scholarship, what happens is that while there, you will be placed in an institution that runs a similar business like you are engaged in here in Uganda, just to share your experiences, the things you do here, and how they do it that side, so that when you come back, it's more like a benchmarking experience. When you come here, you can inform policy, and practice much better. So the professional fellowships, they are always placed in the UK for 6 weeks to about 3 months. Then, one time, one of my mentors said that school dropouts are no longer those that do not complete primary 7, but are actually those ones who do not complete the main cycle of education. For him, according to him, he said, those who do not reach the level of a PhD are school dropouts. But I don't know whether we agree on that, because others qualify this PhD thing as permanent head damage. But it is up to you. But I believe that there are challenges in our society that need knowledge. And the highest level at which you can build that requisite knowledge to solve those challenges is actually at PhD level, because there now you are not benefiting from knowledge, but you are creating knowledge. So going for a PhD is crucial, especially if your calling is actually to solve challenges which require knowledge, because they say without knowledge some people perish. The lack of it causes actually people to perish. But I'm sure if there is knowledge, over time I've noticed that if you are knowledgeable in something, it looks so easy. While I was in school, high school, mathematics, chemistry, physics, they were very simple for me. But I could see my colleagues who could hardly get 10%. That was not their calling. But in history, they would beat me hands down. And that is the importance of knowledge. That when you are knowledgeable in an area, you are the king there, and you do things with a lot of ease. But when you are trying in a field that is not your area, you are not designed for that field, you will struggle. You will certainly struggle. So knowledge is crucial. So beyond PhD, there is also an opportunity. Commonwealth provides for that opportunity through what we call the Commonwealth Rutherford Fellowships. These ones are now people who are studying beyond PhD. They want to give more and more knowledge. And so those are some of the things. Then let me take you through the nominating agencies. We have the national and the foreign agencies. Now, under national, let's be specific, in Uganda, the bodies that have always had the opportunity to nominate and I'm saying have always had, meaning that today they may not be the nominating agencies. Tomorrow we may have others. So the onus is on you, those who are intending to pursue these opportunities, to always be on the lookout. Check on their websites, among others. The National Nominating Agency for Uganda is actually the Ministry of Education and Sports. There is a scholarships department that is heavily equipped to run that, and they normally advertise both online and even in our daily newspapers. Then Makerere University has ever done it. Barara University of Science and Technology, IU, those are some of the universities that have also had the opportunity to nominate. And so being able to nominate, it means that they have a memorandum of understanding with the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission for that particular period of time. So you can be on the lookout for that. Then there are NGOs in Uganda that have also been in the business of nominating scholars to actually get or acquire the Commonwealth scholarships. One of them is FAO. If you're a lady and you're in this room, you should just, be excited about this. They call it Forum for African Women Education Analysts. So they do that. I have just been checking online. They actually advertise for scholars to apply for those scholarships in October this very year. So if you are one of those, you could have had the opportunity to apply. Forward, then we have Window Trust International, based here in Uganda. They've also been nominating scholars. Then we have Hale Access Network. Hale is HALI Access Network. Then Leonard Cheshire Disability. All these are charitable organizations based here in Uganda, but with the MOUs with the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission to nominate scholars to receive those awards. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, that's what I can share. And I think I will still have the opportunity, if there are questions, to respond to your questions. But these are the scholarships which are available under the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission and the nominating agencies that are resident here in Uganda. Thank you for your audience.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for that bit of enlightening us.
That was fantastic. I want to thank the Association of Commonwealth Alumni and Alumnae in Uganda for organizing this. It's really important for you to get in touch with some, alumni or alumnae, because these are the first line of information source, if that English is correct. So follow them on Twitter and then on LinkedIn. Kindly follow me as well. I use Anit Maya or Anit Nakas on Instagram. I use Anit Nakas1 on Twitter, and I use Anit Nakas on LinkedIn.